Welcome to Maxi Life Wellness Fridays featuring parenting during the pandemic, how to successfully work from home while parenting. Again, I'm Patricia Bermudez-Hizon, and I'll be your host for today. In this session, you will learn a lot about balancing work from home and your child's online classes, along with age-appropriate activities to keep the children engaged while parents work. Our speaker will discuss how we can slowly develop the skills of being the masters of working from home while still giving the best care we can to our children. Our speaker is the co-founder of Playworks, where she manages overall operations of the preschool, teaches classes for children from 6 months up to 5 years of age, researches and develops new preschool programs, and conducts workshops for teachers and staff training and parent enrichment seminars. Well, we will all be enriched definitely with our speaker for today. Let us all welcome Miss Gabby Roa-Limjoco. Hi, Teacher Gabby.
Good afternoon. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. Welcome.
Teacher Gabby, I'm so looking forward to this because the struggles are real. I have two teenage boys and I have a baby also, and having to balance everything and just continuously thinking of activities to do is something that is a struggle for a lot. So I'm so excited to know how else we can parent better during this pandemic. So take it away, Teacher Gabby.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia. Yes, it's really challenging. There's my one who came to peek in. So today I'm going to talk about parenting during the pandemic, and not just during the pandemic, but being in quarantine. And so how are we going to balance work from home while parenting? And today I'll share with you my own experiences as a preschool teacher, but also as a parent. I have three kids just like you. As I was saying, we don't have any family planning. I'm also a parent of a young adult. He's 24, turning 25 soon. I have a teenager who's turning 14 in a few days. And I have a preschooler who just turned 6. So check ako sa lahat in that poll. So don't judge me by my family planning, but I do have a master's degree in family life and child development. So I'll be sharing some tips from that. But really, all of that is out the door with this whole quarantine. And so I'll just be sharing some, based on what I have learned from parents and really working with parents. One thing that we do at our preschool in Playworks is what we call Mindful Minute. And we always start our sessions online with these mindfulness exercises. So it's really more to settle our minds. And I know we're all coming from a full work week and a full work day today. And so just before we start, please indulge me in a minute. I'll make it quick and just to set our minds. So if everybody can just sit down in a comfortable seat, put your feet down. If you are able to, I will ask you to close your eyes and I will lead you in a breathing exercise. It's just a short one. So I will ask you to close your eyes and you will count to 10 as you breathe in. So you can close your eyes. Breathe in 1. Breathe out 2. Breathe in 3. Breathe out 4. Breathe in 5. Breathe out 6. Breathe in 7. Breathe out 8. Breathe in 9. Breathe out 10. And you can continue breathing, just counting 1 to 10 on your own, following your breath, noticing if anything is coming to mind, just brush it away. If your mind starts to wander, just go back to your breath, counting in and out, noticing a change in temperature at the tip of your nose. Inhale, exhale, in, out, in, First one, breathe in. Take a full breath and release it all out through your mouth. You can open your eyes, and I hope that made you feel a little bit better, settled you in. And I hope what I share with you today, you will find something helpful. So, parenting has three parts: it's you, your child, and your home. And in your home, I included your other relationships. So, some of you may be single parents, some of you may have your spouse at home, or extended family, or your kasambahays. So all of this comes part of parenting. And today it's really trying to juggle all of those relationships. In the poll question, we asked how you're feeling, if you're having more challenge today. And a lot of you said yes, yes, na yes, capital letters. And it follows. So here are some findings after a year in quarantine. This is from around the world, but also from the Philippines, where 1 in 4 household heads stopped working. And a lot of them are mothers. So many mothers have had to forgo work because of online distance learning for the kids. They've had to put their careers on hold and have shifted to other means of incomes so that they can be more present at home and for their children. So did you also have to give up working to attend to your child's online distance learning? You're not alone. Many have had to do that. And many parents have also said that, even if they're working from home, they've had to actually miss out on work, and they've had to skip a meeting or beg off because they felt they had to work on their children's online, they had to attend to their children's needs, and they are afraid because they had to do that. They're also afraid of losing their jobs. So a lot of insecurities happening. Survey shows that parents are aware of the importance of having a clear structure and routines at homes, but it's also hard to implement. Yeah, we know all the principles, pero ang hirap when when you have to work with, dealing with your home life. You have to think of your menu, your daughter's homework, and then your own work. So it's really challenging, and parents are really feeling the additional responsibilities and childcare and schooling. So, these are all above everything we have to worry about. And if we look at the research for children after a year in pandemic, it's expected that children are using their gadgets more. And it's really not a bad thing. And I'll share with you about it later. Technology can bring a lot of things to learn, and we just need to know how to manage it. So, like my daughter, she tends to be a bit more reserved during online sessions, but she, at 5 years old, she learned how to read and to spell better because she prefers to use the chat box rather than talking out loud. So these are some things that technology can bring. And they're also learning new things. They're able, just at their fingertips, they can research new topics and Google things. So this is another way that this increase in use of technology can help. The difference when technology becomes challenging, or when it becomes parang bad, diba? Pre-pandemic, talagang everybody was saying no screen time, no screen time. And the difference now is we have to use it, but what's important is that the children are not constantly using it passively, parang zombie lang na just staring at the screen, but that they're able to really use it for active play, to use the technology, to learn new things, to interact, to socialize. And as I say in our classes, we also turn their mind on. So it's not just hands-on, but their minds are also on. Of course, with this increase in technology and being in lockdown, it's expected that children are worried too. They're actually more anxious, I think, compared to us at their age. Tayo parang when we were teens or young, school age, it was so happy lang. But the kids nowadays, they tend to be more anxious. I'm quite active in my teenagers' school, and I get to talk to the parents and the teachers, and the girls are really more worried. They're just hyper aware. They're so aware of things like, how COVID can be transmitted, and they themselves are so careful. Plus, they're in isolation. Children like 7 to 11 years old, it's really challenging because this is the time that they want to be with friends. They're just starting to develop their friendships and yung mga barkadahan, and suddenly it was cut. So they want to be with friends and they don't have the means to. So technology can help with that, especially for our teens. The studies show that the teens are actually better socially because of their connections through social media. There's a lot of research about learning loss, and I guess it's expected, most especially if we're just talking about an academic curriculum, yung mga skills that they need to learn, yung mga math, reading. Just think the Department of Education, they kind of compressed the curriculum into the most essential learning competencies. So kung kunwari noon, these are the 10 skills they need to learn, ngayon 5 na lang. But it's expected because the children are also spending less time. I mean, our kids were in school for 6+ hours, and now it's a lot shorter. It's like maybe 4.5 hours. So it's expected that there will be less on academics. But I will share with you in a while that that's not the only way children learn, and that's not the only thing. So how will this affect children's educational outcome and how they will be in the future? I know that's what we're all worried about. I had an inquiry one time sa preschool. Her daughter was 2 years old, and just as a joke, pero medyo may truth, she was like, kasi teacher, my daughter has to go to Harvard. So, every parent, kahit 2 years old pa lang yung bata, that's what's on your mind. And I know that's what you're worrying about too, but we can supplement it. The outcomes will depend on the quality of time that you also spend at home. It's really learning so many other skills. A child is a whole child, holistic development, hindi lang yung skill, yung academics, but there's also their softer skills, their emotional side, their desire to learn and find information on their own. So that's also just as important. So don't sit out school. Also, don't think like, oh, wala naman silang matututunan on online distance learning. Don't also set it out. There will be, and there are, I have seen even our 1-year-olds in our preschool classes, amazing how they have adjusted to the curriculum, how they have adjusted to online learning. So there are many things that the children are learning today. Okay, so I shared these research and what's going on, and just based on the quick poll, we're all feeling the same. So today I'm going to help you with some tips that you can do to design and implement structure for your children. These are tips. So take what you need. I tend to overshare. I always want to say everything that I know and help. So just take what you need. Think of what works for your own family. We all have different families. Some of this are just going to be theories and concepts. So take what works for your family, what works for your schedule, and what works also for your own life circumstances. Okay, so first off, mamas, I want to tell you, and daddies, relax, take it easy. Unlike nung sanay tayo sa mga natural calamity, parang typhoon or earthquake, our minds are on crisis mode. Like we're on high alert, critical alert level. But the pandemic isn't that way. It's kind of long playing, and it takes time to turn it around. So go away from your critical alert level feeling and relax. Take time to rest. And take it easy. Don't worry so much about all these things. It will play out as you're doing your part, you're doing your best. So allow yourself to take breaks. It's so hard. I mean, we're used to working 8+ plus hours a day in an office. But it's not the same. We think na, oh, actually, we're dapat mas comfortable from the home. But it's not. It's actually harder to be on this Zoom and, to attend online meetings. So allow yourself to take breaks. Even during work days, between Zoom meetings, um, take time off. Like give yourself even just 10 to 15 minutes. That's why I started with the breathing exercises and those mindfulness minutes, because you need those too. You need that time to just take a breath. I mean, I know some days like I have my Zoom, I'm observing the classes, I'm doing the grocery online, I'm trying to fix my daughter's what she needs for her class and trying to help her, like tell her what the teacher's telling her. And then my husband wants to make cuento, and then my household is asking me for something and I need to do the chores. I get it. I get it. There's really so much to do. And, I tell myself sometimes with the household chores, wala naman akong iniimbita at home. So if my house is gulo-gulo, it's okay. Who's coming over anyway? So some things, just let it go. Something's gonna give, so let's not let it be you. So take that lunch break. Diba, when we're at work, we clock off and take our lunch break. Take that lunch break too. Even for the kids, you need to show them how to rest and that it's okay to take a break and it's okay to rest. Like for our preschool sessions, we meet more or less about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. But hindi yan straight through. They're not in class from 8 to 10 a.m. every day. We take a break in between. We ask them to log off. We give them tips and activities they can do because we need that time to just regroup. It's hard on our brains also. It takes a toll on our brains also. So they need those brain breaks in between sessions. Um, and just how you clock off from work, diba? 5, 6, 7 p.m., we time out. We used to time out from the office. Do the same now. Do the same now. I know parang nabablur na yung time because we're at home. Clients are calling at 8 p.m., 10 p.m. Our Viber and our chat groups are still going. But you need to also take that time to clock off from work. Even if later on you'll go back to work. Like for me, this is my happy hour time. And I will tell my husband, I'll be with you at 5 p.m. And at 5 p.m., I tell my teachers and my staff that at 5 p.m. I'm off. And it will usually be just like maybe 30 minutes, an hour that we sit together and we chat and we make cuento. And then I may go back to work again at about 7, 8 p.m., get back to what I need to do. But at least you clock off. So even with our teachers, every day, we have what we call a checkout session. So at 4 p.m., sometimes we meet on a Zoom meeting, or sometimes we just have a Viber poll question. It's really silly stuff. Like send me a meme of, that describes you. Mga tanong na ganon. Or, here's a burger, what will you add? It's just silly questions, just for fun. It fosters connection. But the main reason we do it is to tell our teachers, it's 4 o'clock. It's time to stop your workday. Because if not, they'll just keep going and going. So clock off from work. You too. You also need that time to clock off and to rest. Okay, because you know what they say, happy mom, happy home. And countless studies and stories remind us that children thrive in an environment where their basic needs are met. And in a home environment that is sensitive, it's nurturing, it's enriching. Um, this you can only do if you're not highly stressed. So our best way to help our children, our best way to be a parent is to take care of ourselves first. So take that time off for yourself and try to do things on your own. But how am I going to do that? I have so many things, I have so much work to do. And here are some tips. It's best if you could build a routine. Try to get up earlier. I know like kulang na nga ng tulog eh. But yeah, if you can try to get up earlier, even if it was just 30 minutes for your quiet time, just to set your mind for the day. Or if you have young kids and you really need to be with them, but you're working, maybe you can try to fit in the work that needs focus at that time. Let's say if you're a writer, you need concentration at that time. Like when I have to prepare for webinars, I do it at this time, like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, because everybody is still quiet and I can focus. And or this time when my daughter's bagong gising, she can kind of take care of herself pa. She knows, she can entertain herself sort of, so I can focus on my work. So your focused work, do it at a specific time. And the rest of the activities, mga answering emails, texts, you can just squeeze it in at different times of the day. So try to maintain a schedule. Try to maintain a schedule that is flexible but predictable. Even for our preschool, what's important for their kids is they know what's going to happen next. Kunwari, we're going to wake up, pagkagising, brush your teeth, then let's eat, then you take a bath, and then there's class. So they know kung ano yung sunod-sunod. When I say don't make it rigid, be flexible, don't make it rigid. Kasi, wait, sorry, 1 second.
Okay, well, this is really how work from home is. I love it. No, I love it,
This is
Teacher
my
Gabby.
classic example.
Exactly. I was going to say,
Okay, I'm back.
You practice what you preach. I love it. Keep going. I love that, Teacher Gabby. Good job.
Okay, I'm so sorry because these two dogs are, see, that's additional pa to what I have to worry about. My dogs will fight.
O, diba?
Okay,
Ganyan talaga. Go, teacher.
Try to maintain a routine that is flexible and not rigid. Hindi yung 6:30, kailangan magising na kayo. Oh, 6:35 na, what's taking you so long? It's not that, because that's being rigid. It's what's important in a routine is they know what to expect first, next, and last. Especially for toddlers. A lot of you have toddlers. The toddlers want to be independent. They want to have control. Diba sila yung parang me parate. And they need to know, they need to have control. And this is one way that they can have control, is through activities, through knowing what to expect in their day. When we were all going to work and attending school, dropping off our kids in school, we had a routine. We had bedtime, you had mealtime, you had time for leisure activities. Keep that. Make sure that you're keeping that. Make sure that you're keeping the children's bedtime routine and that they're waking up at a set time, especially during school days. But most especially for the teenagers, yung bedtime, it's getting more relaxed now because of this whole online school. So make sure that you're also asking them to follow their bedtimes. So during times of uncertainty, it's especially important to stick with normal routines. Predictability and structure help kids to self-regulate, to think about themselves and what they're gonna do in their day. It's important you share the schedule with your kids so that it reduces their anxiety. It also reduces their fear of boredom and of challenging behavior. Like my daughter, who is in my background now, if she knows that a certain time, like I'm gonna be busy, she won't keep on making me kulit and kulit. If I just tell her in 5 minutes, I will be with you, then she can wait. So share the schedule with the kids. With your older kids, it's great to build the schedule with them. Kaya na nila yan. They know, you can just talk to them about what they have to do. They have a sense of self-control and self-determination. So parang they decided on that schedule. So we need to guide them in staying on task, especially with schoolwork. For my teenage daughter, I'm noticing a lot of yung mga awardees, when it was face-to-face classes, today they're struggling with following a routine and really making sure that they're able to submit their work on time. So our teenagers may seem like they can be independent and that they don't want our help, but we also still need to guide them. And one thing that really helps is what we call blocks of time. So hindi yung parang 6:30 to 7 o'clock breakfast or 9 o'clock to 9:30 is parang class time. But it's really just showing them like, okay, from 9 to 12, you're in class. From 12 to 1, it's around that time is lunchtime. So let's say they get off class at 3. You can say from 3 to 5, that's your leisure time. But from 5 to 7, you should be doing your homework. So it's just blocks of time. Hindi yung talagang to the last minute. So family rituals, and we like to talk about rituals versus routines. So family rituals are special things your family does. It gives you and your children a sense of security. It gives you parang, kami lang ang may alam nito. Yung, when you like, let's say, nose to nose when you kiss, or when I drop off my daughter in school before, I would put a cross on her forehead, or we would pray together. And those are little things that we do together. And it's special because you do it together, and they have a special meaning na kayong dalawa lang are the ones who know about it. So these rituals create shared memories. It helps you to build family relationships and bonds. And rituals can also be comforting for children, most especially in circumstances that are unfamiliar. And that's where we're at today. So, try to create these rituals or things that you were doing before. So let's say my older daughter, when she has class, we're at home, I'll still cross her or I'll still pray with her before she starts her class. So keep those rituals. It helps the children feel that the world is safe, that it's a predictable place. And this research, like from the American Academy of Pediatrics, family routines and rituals are powerful organizers of family life that offer stability during times of stress and transition, which is what we're at now. Okay, so let me share some ideas for rituals. Ano ba tong mga rituals? And I took this from something online, but rituals have, you can do some rituals that build family connections. And researchers point to the importance of family meals. You can ask maybe one of your kids to cook a meal for a day during that week, or even just spending time to talk around the table. I mean, when I was growing up, my family, we would sit down for dinner at 7 p.m. Pero 9 o'clock na ng gabi, nandun pa din kami. Because we're just making kwento and talking about our day. You can have birthday rituals. I have a friend, like every morning, when it's somebody's birthday, they would always have birthday miswa. Or my father-in-law, when he was still alive, he would always message 12 midnight. Parati siyang una, my birthday salubong message. So these are small rituals that you do. It's not big things. Sometimes when you're with your kids and you're just sitting around, share a story, make kwento. Don't ask them about parang, how was your day? Mas lalo na yung teenager, how was your day? Fine. You ask the younger kids, what did you do in class? Nothing. So, instead of asking how was your day, just go ahead and make kwento about your own day. Anything. They would love to hear all your stories, and it will be learning experiences for them. If you have younger kids, mga preschoolers, mga grade 1, grade 2, gusto pa nila magkwento niyan. Ask a specific question. Don't just ask like, what did you do today? You can ask them like, what did you do for mindful minutes today? Or what song did you sing in class? Or even other things like, what was teacher wearing? It will already start the conversation. When you're chatting with your kids, let's say you're around the dinner table, you can share stories of how they were born, or how did you and your husband meet? What did you do when you were growing up? The kids are so boggled today. Na parang, how did you fill your time? When there was no iPad or there were no gadgets, what did you do? They're so confused about that. So you can share with them what you used to do. But don't use this time to preach. Hindi ito time na mag-sermon. Yung parang saying yung panahon namin, ganito, ganyan. No. Make it fun, make it enjoyable, make it engaging. This is a time to connect and just share stories. So on my slide, I shared, other family rituals that you can do. I saw a lot of people are gardening. So, you can create that gardening project together. Okay, I'm going to share this video of my nephew, and just to give you a break and think about your own daily routines, whether there's a way to make them more fun or special. So routine is yung mga 1, 2, 3 na ginagawa nyo every day, but a ritual is what can you do, something that we can do with our kids, something that doesn't force our kids. It's part of our relationship, and as they grow, it will change. So this is a short video just to give me a breather and for you also to think about what rituals you can add. Is it gonna play? I. Okay, I don't know. Kanina it was playing. Oh, maybe I have to play it here. Sorry. Okay, while you're thinking about that, I have to press play. Okay, it's not playing. All right, well, I asked her to send me this video, but anyway, you can find it on her Instagram account. This is my nephew Balti, and they do affirmations, morning affirmations. When he wakes up in the morning, his mom Belle will say like, you are beautiful, you are unique, you are kind, you are enough. So these are morning affirmations that you can also do with your own children. Okay, so now childcare, how do we set up stations and how do I fill up their time so that I also have time for myself? So here are 4 tips. 1, set up stations. These are activities to keep your kids engaged while you work. Set out activities, yung mga toys nila, like I tell my yaya, ilabas mo na. Don't leave it in the shelf. Don't leave it on the cabinet because they're not going to go for it. Bring it out already. In the preschool, what we do, sineset up pa namin yun. Parang kunwari may naglaro na. So bring it out, prepare the materials ahead, and don't tell your kids what to do. Just leave it there and prepare it, and they will for sure gravitate towards it. They will go to it on their own and use the materials on their own. If you have older kids, you can set out board games or maybe the cards that they can do on their own. There's one parent who shared that they do like a task, like he'll send an article to read and then ask them to answer a few questions, and then they discuss it when they see each other. So give them tasks to do. These are the stations. And remember to add a snack station. So they're not constantly asking for food. Like, Mama, can I have food? Mama, I'm hungry. Mama, I need a snack. Mama, I need a drink. Set it up na para they can take care of themselves. It's going to take some time from you. And it's best to set up ahead of time, like over the weekend. You can already set things out. And then, okay, then when we talk about screen time, like I said earlier, before the pandemic, there was, set screen time for each age group. Now is the time to kind of relax on that. We're not saying like totally have no rules, but it's just give them time. Younger children should use, and still have your rules, still have structure, that young children should use the computer, a tablet in a common space, not on their own, so that you can still monitor content. With your teens, talk about appropriate content. Tell them what's okay, what's not okay, and you can just do that by making kwento. My mom, favorite yan, kunwari, I saw this thing on Facebook, pero actually hindi niya nakita. She just wants to use it as a way to chat. So you can do that with your teens. Talk about appropriate things, screen time limits. They also need to manage their bedtime. So as I was saying earlier, you can talk with them about when it's time to stop using their phones. Don't use their gadgets as leverage, like for punishment. because your kids need to stay connected to their networks. And that the only way they can do it now is through social media. So their social support is so important in their development, and so that you can, push away yung mga negative or yung mga stress in their life. Find ways to keep them connected to their friends, to their mga cousins, maybe even yung mga coach nila if they're in sports programs, to their lolo, lola, or yung mga aunts and uncles. So find ways to keep connected. And I saw a lot of you said in the chat earlier, like you do video chats. So that's perfect. My younger daughter, she has play dates, and we do it even in our preschool. Like the 3-year-olds, they come together on Zoom, and then they will play. They will pretend that they're camping. They're looking at each other. The other day, we were gonna go on FB Live, and while waiting, we were playing hide and seek. And they would use yung mga Zoom background to hide, or they would really hide in the spaces. So video chat play dates are a way to keep your kids connected. So the days teens need to be more connected through their social media, and that's, research shows are the times when they are happier. So even yung mga nade-depress na teens, they notice that when they have time to connect with friends, that's when they're happier. So maybe you can think about what else you can use to guide your child's behavior, and ask yourself, even for you, are you using your gadget to connect? Are you using your device to create or to contribute? Don't just take it away. Adolescents, their brains are wired to learn through social interaction, and their bodies are designed to respond that way. So they need friends. Their reward comes from friends. Other ideas to be connected is write letters, text silly pictures back and forth, video messages, whatever works. But helping kids stay connected to their network is as important for them as it is for you. I know we want to minimize, like being on it the whole day. And one thing that has worked is we use Spotify together. So we choose music. We each take turns on what music to use. We also, they're like dance apps, so you can exercise together, and workout programs. So you can do stuff like that. Use media together. I saw a lot of you are watching Netflix, K-drama, and that's also opens an opportunity to talk about values that you want them to learn. Okay, so many schools have also put a halt on academic awards, and they've actually started adjusting your grading system. So you don't need to worry or stress so much na kailangan top of the batch siya or kailangan perfect yung grade niya. Prioritize your child's well-being. Being on top of the batch or getting 100 mark in the exam is not the only thing that's important, and definitely not at the cost of your child's happiness. It may seem like, teens don't want to spend time with their parents, but you know what? In a survey they did, 67% of teens say they want to spend more time. They want to spend more time with you. Like my 14-year-old, when we sit down for a meal, she asks questions. She will ask like, what's your favorite song, or what do you like to watch? So they want to make cuento. Allow them space to give them the time where you can chat. And another thing is, I know that we're all at home, and some of us are living in more limited spaces, like tabi-tabi tayong lahat in the house. But you also need to give your children time. Like I always say, my husband is always clingy. He wants to be like, where are they? Call them here. Let's sit down together. Let's stay in the sofa together. And I said, hey, we're here all day, every day for the next how many weeks or months. Allow your child space. If they need time on their own, if they need time to be in their own area, then give them that space, and just have certain rules. Maybe if you come together for dinner, or those are set rules. Okay, so I was telling you earlier, learning happens in many ways. It's more than just getting acing that exam. Being in lockdown showed us that there are so many more things that are important, and most especially life skills. I love this photo na ito yung grade, mama ni Angeline, 86%, yung lola ni Renee, 86%. Kasi nga lahat ng nangyayari, moms, is that we're the ones doing the work. So that's why I started with relax. Let your child also learn. And this is a time that you can learn life skills. I saw a lot of you are baking, you're cooking, you're gardening. Those things are just as important. And like we love to do cooking in our preschool classes because when they cook, di ba, they read the recipe. So literacy na yon. Tapos they have to measure. Kunwari, yung cup ko pa is 1/4 lang pero kailangan ng 1/2. So how will we get to 1/2 kung 1/4 lang yung cup ko? So that's math. When they see the changes, especially for the young children, we put the pizza, we grated the cheese, pero when we put it in the oven, nagmelt na siya. What happened? Why does it look like that? That's science. Or when we cook food of different cultures, it's an opportunity to learn about culture. So just by cooking, you're able to learn so many different skills in one activity. With planting, growing your own food. These are life skills that are just as important for children to learn and also provide learning experiences. We can also teach them how to relate to others. Early on, the parents were complaining na, it's so hard in Zoom. My son, gusto niyang magkwento, madami siyang kwento, at gusto niya magdaldal. And parang, it's so hard dahil there's other children. And I was sharing with that mom that it's an opportunity for them to learn how to wait for their turn, how to listen, how to, wait for their chance to talk, and that they can't all talk at the same time. So there are different things that they can learn. So everyone today is making bread, selling something, So selling is an entrepreneurship. It's math again, and business ideas. So there are all these wonderful experiences that they can learn outside of sitting on a table with a paper and pencil. You can choose online activities that involve your child, activities that encourage movement. Let's exercise and move our bodies. If you go on our Facebook page or on IG, we have a lot of movement activities that you can do in the confines of your home, like just a small space. Okay, so a lot of us, this is something from UNICEF, and they have this whole campaign on COVID-19 parenting. And one of the things it talks about is family budgeting. And, this loss of jobs and less income is actually adding stress to our family harmony. And children can be taught about finances and can be part of budgeting. Make a budget together and help your child understand that we all need to make hard decisions. That not everything is okay, and that we can have everything. So we have to make hard decisions in difficult times. So involve them in creating that budget. This is another parang buzzword na nga now, but it's something that is great to practice, mindfulness. And it's a concept defined as being present, you're aware, and you have a non-judgmental attitude. Parang just accept. These are, noted in articles as one of the ways to cope with this ongoing stress that we're currently experiencing. And mindfulness not only fosters children's feelings of safety, of value and worth, but it also reduces stress on you. So on you as a parent. Feel all the feels. And one thing that I learned when we were creating the mindfulness curriculum is don't try to hide your feelings. Let's say you're irritated, you're angry, just accept it. Just tell yourself, I feel angry and that upset me. But don't na think of the why. Kasi ganito eh. Kasi ganyan niya eh. Kung hindi niya kasi ginawa, don't anymore think of that. Just feel it, and that too shall pass. Dadaan rin yung feeling na yon. So validate your feeling. Don't naman hide it kasi if not, one day, sasabog na lang yon. So it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to, feel frustrated. What is helpful here is to stop. We call it like a turtle. Go into your shell, pause, notice this thinking, and then just accept it without judging yourself for having them. And what's important about mindful parenting is it also tells you to pause and to respond to our children, to think about, bakit ba niyo ginagawa to? Why are they acting out? And, what's difficult for them now? Rather than parang reacting to them na you're gonna get mad, you're gonna get stressed. Take a time out for you, not for your child. You remove yourself if you have to remove yourself, and take a mental time out. The bathroom is your favorite place. Lock the door, take a breather, collect yourself, count to 10, focus on your breath, and then go back out and be a parent. So it's basically parang not reacting, and not biglang magagalit ka na kaagad. Just stop first and think about, why is this happening? Okay, so we're all feeling a lot of feelings, and you can think about yourself in this season of your life. Are you feeling sunny? And you can tell me on the chat box, how are you feeling? Sunny, all is well, you're able to balance pressures, you're having fun, you're coming from maybe behind the clouds, you're after an emotional storm, but things are looking great. Or is your life right now feeling stormy? Are things parang nagulo? You have so much pressure inside? Has something happened? So is it, so destructive like a typhoon? Tell us in that chat box. Are you sunny, stormy, rainy, or cloudy? Rainy may be strong or maybe a light sprinkle. Things may not be all sunny and well, but you've had your relief. Or is it cloudy emotionally? Things are not always very clear. It's feeling foggy, you're feeling unsure and depressed. So what are you feeling now? You can share with us on the chat box. What this time in your life. Okay, so just acknowledge it and feel it, but don't judge and don't think of why. And it too shall pass. And when you're working with your kids, and you're having a hard time with them, and trying, hurricane, and trying to work with them at home, we like to use the term guidance versus punishment. Hindi naman sila kailangan disiplinahin. Because when we say discipline, we think na kailangan i-punish. We're coming from a mindset na masama sila. But when we talk about guidance, we're thinking that, your child is just learning how to be. Lalo na yung mga preschoolers, they don't know yet. They're just trying to understand what is right and wrong. So allow them. They're just think of it in that mindset that their behavior, hindi sila nagme-misbehave, but it's misunderstood. They just don't know how to react in a more appropriate way. So tell your child what you want to see. Like in school, I used to always tell the teachers, don't tell them, don't run. Kasi ang last na narinig nila is run, at yun ang gagawin nila. If you want, you tell them, please walk. So tell them what you want to see. Please pick up your clothes, rather than saying, don't throw your clothes on the floor. You can say, please stop using your gadget at 8 p.m. rather than, ay nako, parati ka na lang nasa gadget. I'm going to take it away. If you don't stop right now, tomorrow. So try to just tell them what behavior you want. Speak to them in a calm voice. Like my brother, matanda na siya. Pero he's so the type na once pasigaw na, shut off na siya. Hindi na siya nakikinig. So it's the same with children. Speak to them in a calm voice, and the more they will listen. Give your child choices, especially those of you who have toddlers and preschoolers. They have no control of their day. Everything na lang is we're the ones telling them what to do. You can give them choices, and it will make things so much easier. Let's say we want them to take a bath. Okay, would you like to take a bath before dinner, or will you do it after dinner? Or are you going to take a shower, or are you going to go in the batya? Or, and Or you can help them. You can give them warning time that, in 5 minutes it's time to do something. It's time to turn off the TV, or it's time to get off your iPad. Give them time before moving on. And you also have to think about your child's age. Kaya ba nila what you're asking them? So early on, last March, March 2020, when we went online, the parents were telling me, ay nako, hindi niya kaya to sit down for 20 minutes sa Zoom. Talagang hindi niya kaya. He's a 2-year-old. Kahit hindi Zoom yan. Kahit we're in school, hindi nila kaya to sit down for 20 minutes. So we shouldn't be expecting that of them. Try to think about your own child, and what are their capabilities. Okay, but I know you need to work, and you can't keep managing all these things. So just think that productivity doesn't anymore equal 8 hours. Think na lang of what tasks done rather than how many hours you work. Accept that. And set your priorities. Like I said earlier, do not the focus priorities first. Do what needs time and focus, because there will be interruptions for sure throughout your day. Schedule time while your kids are sleeping or busy with the tasks that they can do on their own. With big things out of the way, then you can fill up your day with the smaller tasks that don't need attention. Do you have a baby? Do you have an infant? They require a lot of direct attention. So I know it's going to be harder to work. I used to do baby wearing. So kahit nung nagbe-makeup ako, my daughter is I'm carrying her in my baby carrier. Plan ahead so you can get work done dun sa short spurts of time when they're asleep. And take breaks. Like I said earlier, take a rest. Take breaks and play breaks with your child. Toddlers and preschoolers like to play side by side. When you see them playing with other friends, magkatabi sila. They're not actually playing together. And you can do the same. So while they're in their online class, you can be right beside them doing your own work. Sit next to them while they play. Okay. Right. So, okay. Set boundaries. I love this little photo that I put. She can move it to tell her kids what to expect. Let them know what to expect. Inform them when you're going to be at work or on a call or engaged at work. Tell them these are the things you can do, and let them know when you'll be available. So tell them. A lot of times parents will tell me, 2-year-old pa lang yan, di niya naiintindihan. They do. They understand, especially young children. They feel it. I mean, maybe they won't understand the whole thing, but you can just say, Mama will be back. Okay. Assess your home team. I mean, I can't live without my yaya. She's really my partner. Do a needs assessment. This applies for kids. Ano bang kaya nung 5-year-old mo? Sometimes I ask her to set the table. What can your teenager do? Can she fix her bed? Can she maybe help with the laundry? What about your spouse? How much time can he help you? Your kasambahay, check their capabilities. What can each person help you with? Maybe your 10-year-old can help you with folding the laundry. How much can they do? So let's say your yaya has to, clean, and maybe she can help you with online classes. In Playworks, what we did is we do tech workshops for our yayas, because a lot of them are the ones doing the class. So showing them how to toggle with the Zoom and how to do the activities that we plan for the families to do at home. What are their commitments? What have they signed up to do? So balance schedules with your husband and other household members. So sometimes I ask my 14-year-old, when I'm busy, I ask her, can you take care of my 6-year-old? So she's the one who takes care of her. And of course, work with your employer. Let them know what your situation is, and maybe you can work out something that works for both of you. I have a family that the dad works in the afternoon, so he's in the morning session of the son for online distance learning. The mom works in the morning, so paghapon naman, she's the one in the online session. So just trying to work together. Share the load. Don't try to take everything. My husband always says that. Parang kang butike. You want to, get the whole wall. So family harmony at home may be challenging. in crowded homes. So try to find pockets of space for yourself. Like I said, the bathroom is my space. I lock the door and that's my area. In school, we have a tent, parang tela lang, where the kids can go in for quiet space. So it's okay to ask for help when you're feeling stressed or when you're feeling low. Sometimes I'll tell my husband, I'm so tired right now. I really can't handle this. Can you be the one? And so he will take over. So talk to your spouse when you're running low. Or sometimes I tell my 14-year-old, I'm so tired. Can you be the one to take care of her first? Can you read her the story? So tell your kids that you're tired and make up na lang when you can. Give yourself also time to regroup. I know, we're like one after the other and where are we going to get the time? So give yourself time to breathe. Even if it was just that 1 minute breathing, give it to yourself so that you can regroup. Or ask Lolo or Lola or ask a friend to video chat with your child while you make an important work call. So plan a virtual play date. Your teachers are your allies. They love your children. And a lot of them know more about your child's age group and what they're like. So ask them for tips. Be okay to have your own time off. I always tell nga may yaya, buti pa yung si Yaya, my husband, si Yaya may day off. Ako walang day off. So take those days off or time off. Hindi naman day. Pero just say, from 11 a.m. or let's say from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., this is my me time. Please give it to me. Give me that time off. Okay, so we're almost ending. And I know I talked a lot about online distance learning and work from home, but summer na. Paano yan? School's out. And now, you have something new to worry. So school's out, Yahoo or oh no? Tell us in the chat, is it Yahoo or oh no? Are you guys panicking? Because worrying about how am I gonna fill up the time? How am yes, some are Yahoo and some are oh no. But now we have to worry about how to fill up the time and what our kids are gonna do now that there's no class. So I'm sharing this drawing of my 5-year-old and ito yung blocks of time niya. These are things that we're gonna do. And you can see she put a little check there. Checklist namin yan for the day. What are your kids gonna do now that school's out? And just go back to what I shared with you earlier. Recreate your schedule or your routine. So syempre yung schedule nyo when there was class, iba na ngayon. So you have to work on it together. Recreate that schedule, recreate your routine. Maybe you should, maybe now you'll, have to try to do more activity stations. So I saw a lot of you were doing coloring and it can be painting. We have this thing that we love to play with loose parts. Notice nyo ba yung mas excited sila sa box kesa sa toys? Because those are things that they can really play with longer. So here we play with seeds, mga sticks, stones. So those are loose parts, that things that they can be creative with. Maybe you can do a project together, learn a new skill. And of course, still there's so many classes that you can do and join virtual play dates. So I know, I'm just circling back to my first slide. These are all the things that you have to worry about. But my final word is really go back to basics. Go back to basics. We're really all baking, sariling coffee na nga. We're planting or growing our own food. So this is the time for us to go back to basics. And just know, mamas and daddies, that you are a great parent. Don't be so hard on yourself. We're all trying to figure this out. And the best parenting is the parenting that works for you and for your family. So that's all. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Actually, we have a lot of questions. They are great questions, Teacher Gabby. I love it. Let me just quickly synthesize for everyone, because everyone has been, just sharing the takeaways that they have. Some people here even shared with us, sa kanila, parang they felt guilty. Now they will commit to take breaks and try to clock off work and do it efficiently and effectively. And someone also said, yes, great idea. to be sharing the load with a husband, and knowing who that person is, the name, reading the name, husband siya. So it's really good that even dads who are here listening also understand, right, that they do have a role to play, and I love that they're willing to play that role and be able to share in that. Really great insights that we got from you, from relaxing. And I think a lot of us parents are on hyper mode, that we really do forget to rest and relax. So one of my favorite things that I took away from this is that happy mom, happy home. The best way to be a parent is to take care of ourselves first, going back to basics, sharing the load, setting priorities, even having the routines. All of those things are great hacks for us to be able to survive this quarantine, or at any season of our lives, really. So that's what I love about your talk, Teacher Gabby. So many wonderful takeaways. But let me now go to our questions, because there are a lot of wonderful questions that our listeners here from Maxicare have asked. Like, one question that really stood out for me also is, since the pandemic, her children obviously have had to focus on computer games. Now, you said that that's not necessarily a bad thing. Screen time has to be used for active play, learning, interacting, socializing. I really took down a lot of notes. I think I'm a good student, Teacher Gabby. And of course, their minds must be turned on. And I think that's what this parent really wants to do. She said that she tried to enroll them in coding and other online classes. So she really wants their minds to be turned on. But she's also asking for other suggestions. And I think encoding or coding is really a good start, right, Teacher Gabby?
Absolutely, yes. And it helps them to understand everything behind the scenes on the games that they play. But yeah, so what's the question? Like other activities to do
Other,
online?
yeah, yeah, other activities that they can do.
You know what's so nice now is that you can go on field trips. Like we've been going on field trips like NASA and museums in countries abroad. They've opened it up for free that you can see online. Okay, but I know, I can hear my daughter already like, Mama, that's boring. But maybe look for something that is aligned with their own interest. So, I'm thinking like Minecraft. Okay, it's a game about building and
Yeah.
architecture, and it teaches them about construction and architecture. And you can bridge it by going, maybe seeing beautiful architecture around the world through search engines and um, certain websites, or even bridging it to the home. So providing them, let's say, with certain materials that they can construct. So they're doing it online, but they can construct it also live at home. Yeah, favorite. Yeah, but Minecraft. There's so much for them to learn, and you just need to see what is the underlying. So yeah, try to mine all those websites that are available. So what? Just recently, I learned that like this is a game. This is an online game, but we can play dance. It's like a dancing game.
Mm-hmm.
Before you needed like a PlayStation or something. You can just do it with two gadgets. You hold your phone, and that's what feeds to the other gadget. And so it's a workout, and we're dancing and having fun. So maybe try to find games that you can do together. Oh, 5 years old. Mhm.
I like that. Ang daming actually mga parents na matutulungan yan. Yeah, great reminder that there are a lot of really new and free online resources that kids of all ages can actually engage in. Ang daming bago actually. They even gamify learning now. So iba na talaga ang mundo ngayon. So it really caters to that. Thanks so much for those great suggestions. Ito, it's a little sensitive and a little sad actually, but maybe a lot of parents who are working from home, who are now finding themselves focusing on work while at home even more. Di ba sometimes hindi nga tayo nakaka-peel away from work. We end up actually working longer hours now that we're working from home, and the boundaries are kind of blurred. But this one, it's maybe a lot of parents can relate to this. Meron daw siyang anak, yung toddler niya, napapansin niya that since this person is working from home, yung 2.5-year-old niya, mas napapalapit kay Yaya. So
Oh,
she needs something, they go to Yaya. What can she do as a mom? Why is the situation becoming like that? Siguro si mom is asking, hindi ba ako ang nagiging parang yung comforting person for my daughter? She does spend a lot of time with her daughter, but admittedly, she also has a lot of work that she does at home. What's your take on that?
I feel you. You know, I'm lucky sa yaya, but like I told you kanina, I really partner with my own yaya. I'm so thankful for her. I'm so big on yaya everything because I see that they really are partners. And even in the preschool, I always try to find workshops. So you know what? Don't be insecure about it. My 14-year-old, she had a yaya from birth until she was 6, and it was the same. They had the same relationship that you're describing, and
Mhm.
then one day that yaya just left, as in walang paalam, and I was so worried about my daughter. Guess what? 2 days lang, okay na siya.
Oh,
She was okay. So um, you're the mom that will never be replaced. And I know we have to do a lot of work and we leave it to Yaya. And so, you know, sometimes our kids, they're so sensitive that what they're doing is actually saying, na, I'll just ask Yaya because mama's busy. So they're actually being parang caring about you. So it's not so much that they don't want to go to you, but they're just also trying to protect you and take care of you. So just partner up with your yaya. And when you can spend time with your child, you know, I failed to say this, Kanina, but my favorite thing while about mindful parenting is making that eye contact. And
mm.
even if it's just 5 minutes of your 100% attention on your child, that is already going to be a great time. So don't worry about your position. Um, just speaking from experience, that you know, don't worry, your child, ikaw pa rin ang number one.
Okay, pero ito, I'll connect it now to some questions. We actually have a number of questions regarding this, and it's about not Yaya, but it's about other people, the extended family that sometimes we end up living with and care for our children. Ang tanong dito, how do you handle parenting when you live with your own parents because they have a different way of disciplining, di ba, the children? Compared to what you are doing with your spouse. So nalilito daw yung mga bata sometimes kung sino yung susundin. And of course, meron ding mga old, I say, I'm just reading off the comment or the question, may mga old parenting styles, which are obviously different. You know, how do you handle that? And also, not just making sure that the kids are not confused, but making sure that you stay respectful to your parents.
Yeah, because you want to make sure that they still respect them also. And um, okay, yes, this is always something. And I think you can, well, one is communication talaga. If you can communicate it to your parent, how things are, how it's different. And also, balance na lang. Maybe you can have your parang non-negotiable na ito kailangan talagang my way. And other things, sige na lang, let Lola's way na lang. Let it go. So try to balance out, not everything na lang is you want it your way. And yeah, I think just explaining to your own parent how things are, and why you're doing that, why you're opting for that, might also help them to understand, and to be on board with you. Or certain yeah, maybe certain things you can discuss together, na okay, ito, this is why I want it this way. And also assess yourself, parang talaga ba, does it need to be a cause for stress for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as long as it's not naman harmful for the child, and maybe some things can let go, and you can just talk about values. And as the children get older, even like at 5 6, you can already start turning it over to your child.
Mm.
Not that you're pitting them against each other or saying na mali si lola or mali si lolo, but just telling your child, this is why I want you to do this. This is why we need to do it this way. Yeah, so explaining it also to your child, and they'll understand.
All right. Well, speaking of disciplining, there's a question here. Pwede na bang pumalo? Palo a 2-year-old instead of timeout lang, pero explain why. Um, I mean, I have my own takes on discipline, but being a teacher, what is it that usually the parents that you talk to, especially with kids that age, about 2-year-old, what do you usually tell them on how to discipline their children?
Okay. You know, ako rin laki sa palo, right? And it's so quick. Isang palo, solved na. But one thing that changed my mind about it is that the research showed that children who are hurt are actually IQ levels are lower. You know why? When you
Mm,
guide their behavior, you're talking to them about what is right and wrong. And that's what I was talking about earlier, about what is right and guidance. That a 2-year-old, hindi pa niya alam. Hindi, it's mistaken behavior. Um, the behavior that they're doing, maybe they just want your attention, maybe they just didn't know how to do it right. Let's say toddler tantrums.
yeah.
Tantrum yan dahil pagod na sila, gutom na sila, or they were trying to do an activity that hindi nila magawa, so nakaka-frustrate. So it's better to try to understand why.
You know, when we try to discipline our children, you're right there. It really is more of an emotional thing, and you're really trying to connect with them still, right? You're still trying to model behavior to them. So I love also what you said earlier that when you try to tell children what not to do, replace it with words that they ought to be doing. So maybe we should also think about those things. I love all the conversation that's happening here, teacher, because we're all learning. But speaking of learning, I wanted to ask about homeschooling because this is something that a lot of people are asking about. Like there's this one question asking whether or how they can handle long distance with their kids when the daughter's in the province and the parent is in Manila. They're doing video calls each day. Um, and how do you monitor all that? But I guess that's just really how parents are, right? We just have to really adapt and still monitor. But speaking of monitoring, a lot of parents are also asking about homeschooling. And I think that's a different level of having to monitor your kids. What's your take on that, teacher?
Talking about homeschooling, like the parent is the one creating the curriculum, that's the question. And it's wonderful. If I could do it, I would homeschool. And you are, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
you have so much control. And I guess I'm not a homeschooling parent, but if you can and you have, I presume you have to have the time, and it doesn't even have to be patience. Even as a teacher, we're not all patient. It's just managing. Like again, it's just understanding the child. And so um, if you know that you can have a block of time that you can focus on your child's schoolwork and provide that guidance for your child in that block of time, then go for it. But I think those are some basics about choosing to homeschool, is you have to be able to give a certain period of time.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
need a lot of support also from your husband. I don't think it's just a wife or a husband decision. Both of you need to be committed to this homeschooling journey. But speaking of husband and wife, and this is my second to the last question. Promise, there was a question like this: what if it's your spouse that is distracting you while working from home?
I know, I feel you. I'm telling you, that's mine. Again, well, one is really, I tell him my schedule. I say, that I am working from 8 a.m. up to 4 p.m. So until it's 4 p.m., I'm not going to be there. Or I tell him like, okay, when it's lunchtime, so like with him, talagang lunchtime, we try our best to like not bring our gadgets to the table. And I really try to give him that 30 minutes of my full attention. Talagang panganay mo yan. So yeah, again, it's just really setting expectations, letting them know what to expect and what's going to happen during the day, and when you can have time together.
Yeah. I promise yesterday, my husband and I had our happy hour because of the tip that you gave, Teacher Gabby. I sometimes forget too that, as a wife, that is that is something that we need to still nourish. And it helps with the whole family dynamic. So it's not just happy mom, happy home, but everyone has to be happy and you need to really spend time with everyone. Now, this is the last question. This person has a toddler who just turned 4 last month. They plan to skip school this coming school year since both husband and wife are working from home. They don't have a helper. And usually the class schedules are at the same time that they have their work meetings and they really can't assist their child. Please, they want to hear from you and have some clarity on whether what they're doing and what their decision is actually the right thing to do, or is she going to be late for school learning?
Okay. If there's other things you can do at home, if you can support their if you can read them stories, if you can read a story to her every bedtime, or on weekends you can do projects together. If you're having conversations, those are all opportunities to learn. As you do your daily chores, I told you about cooking. I mean, it's
Yes.
just so much to do. Even laundry is like sorting black and white, or setting the table. That's one-to-one correspondence. One plate, one spoon, one fork, one glass. Those are skills that they need for counting and for math later on. If you're gonna make pizza and they're molding the pizza dough and kneading, those are things that strengthen their hand muscles that they will need for writing. So if you can do those things at home, then yes, of course, it's okay. And I know it's challenging to try to juggle home
Yeah.
and online learning. So yeah, it's okay. If you can support it with play dates with other kids, even online or with cousins, then just try to add that in. Um, Formal schooling doesn't start till kinder. That's 5. I mean, of course, it's contra to my preschool, but yeah, I understand it's challenging to do all of that, and just try to, at certain periods of time, reading to your child is wonderful. There's so much to learn just from that. And do the chores together. Again, there's also so much for them to learn as you're doing chores together. Even just washing dishes, making laba-laba. Those are all skill, strengthening their muscles for writing, for reading, for math. Even when you're doing the grocery, like you can make a list together, write the grocery list together. So many tips.
Thank you so much, Teacher Gabby. That really just goes back to your point earlier that learning happens in many ways, and all of our parents are equipped, and we have a lot of things to do at home in terms of work. But if we somehow integrate these things that we do anyway, like chores and keeping the house clean and doing all that, we can definitely be able to educate our children, teach our children all these skills and life skills, right? Well, thank you so much, Teacher Gabby. Any parting words for the parents out there?
Thank you so much. I know it went on. I told you guys I love to make cuento. I know you have a lot more questions, so you're welcome to chat me up on Instagram, or on Facebook. Just let me know. I'm always happy to help. But remember, take it easy. Go back to basics. And you're right. Your relationship as husband and wife always comes first. Happy everybody.
Thank you so much, Teacher Gabby. What a wonderful and valuable experience for all of our Maxicare members today, getting to listen to this wonderful webinar. To our attendees, thank you so much for participating in the Q&A and for being so engaged all throughout the event. To our Maxicare members now, we'd like to invite you to please take a few moments to answer a feedback form after this event. Here's a link that we're putting on the chat, and also we have a QR code that will be flashing on the screens for all of you so that you can also share your feedback. Of course, this feedback would be most appreciated, and we'll be sharing that on the chat in just a short while. So do watch out for that. So many great takeaways here from Teacher Gabby from this wonderful talk. The mindful parenting for me is really so important. Being present, being aware, and being non-judgmental, and being able to look at your child, and have eye contact, even if it's just a few precious minutes with them a day. And that's exactly what we need from you, a few precious minutes of your time to be able to share your feedback. And here is now the QR code that I was talking about earlier. Make sure you guys take a screenshot of this, or go to this survey, and we of course would love to get your feedback after this event. Now we are ready to announce the winners of our raffle draw. The winners were randomly selected by our staff, and like I mentioned, we will be giving away a portable yoga mat, a J umbrella, and a mini clutch bag. Of course, the Maxicare team will be in touch with those who will be winning the prizes that we have here today. So here now is our list of winners. Congratulations to Donna Go. You win our portable yoga mat, and you really need that. Glenda May Rokim, our J umbrella will be headed your way. Congratulations also to J Serene Tate Santos. What a nice name. Congratulations to you. You win the mini clutch bag from Maxicare. Don't forget, the Maxicare team will get in touch with you about these prizes. Now, here are 2 real quick poll questions before you guys go. We always want to know, guys. We always want to know here. Do you want to live your best life? Yes and oo, syempre. After that parenting talk, and because you guys hung around and really hung on to every word that Teacher Gabby shared with you guys, of course, alam na alam ko na yung sagot niyan. Very positive. But let's take a look at our poll question because, of course, you all want to live your best life, and to be able to help you do just that, even in future events, here are some topics that you could possibly attend. Now, we want to know, which topics would you like to see in the next Wellness Fridays events by Maxicare? Is it building relationships amidst the pandemic? Keeping the skin healthy this pandemic, that's so important. COVID-19 updates, equally important, guys. Of course, there's so many wonderful information that we can get from that. How to prevent hypertension, or what about how to prevent dengue? A lot of great topics. So I'd like to know which ones you guys would love to go to. Keeping the skin healthy this pandemic and building relationships amidst the pandemic are amongst those that rank high for you guys. Thank you so much for sharing with us your insights. Now, if you enjoyed this experience, please do share it on your social media using the hashtag Live Your Best Life and the hashtag Maxicare Wellness Fridays. You can also tag Maxicare on Facebook at Maxicare Healthcare Corp and their IG at Maxicare Healthcare, and they also have their Maxicare Health and Wellness IG. Make sure you guys also follow that and, of course, engage with their content. Don't forget to also subscribe to their YouTube channel, and it's at Maxicare Healthcare Corporation. Now, do you want to know more about Maxicare's products? Please do visit www.shop.maxicare.com.ph, or you can even send a message through their FB Messenger. So easy, right? Now, if you guys have questions about Maxicare's Wellness Fridays, you may send an email to maxicare@maxicare.com.ph. See you guys at our next Maxicare Wellness Fridays, which will be on May 7. Take a look at this at 6 p.m. as we will have a heart-to-heart talk amidst the pandemic with Dr. Rodney Jimenez. He's a great doctor, a wonderful personality. Make sure you guys register. The QR code for the registration is now being flashed on your screen, so make sure you guys register early. So that ends our event for today. Thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon. Hope you guys enjoyed and you were able to take away a lot of meaningful information. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great night. And we know that with Maxicare, you as parents can all live your best life.